All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Sunday Night Charts. It's 9 o'clock Sunday night. This is the place we meet every week. Look over the charts, look at the Bitcoin chart, look at the markets, see where things might be heading. Guys, we're going to do an overview tonight and take a peek. What's going on? I hope you guys are well. My name's Jim. I'm a crypto trader. I'm a Forex trader, at least of old. A Forex trader of old. I don't trade them Forex much anymore, but I love it. I might get back into it one of these days. I keep saying I will. I just get so busy with the crypto market. I don't mess with the Forex a whole lot much anymore. But with that said, love trading. Everything trading. Jim of all trades. So with that said, well, welcome to the channel. I hope you're well. My name is Jim, and I'm here to show you how the market looks from an Elliott wave perspective. Just don't confuse anything I say tonight about where Bitcoin might be heading or anything. Don't confuse that with financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't do that. I'm a trading teacher. I teach you how to trade. I teach you how to look at the market through wave structure analysis, and I try to offer that to the YouTube world. So with that said, we're going to jump into the analysis tonight. But first, let me say hi to all my peeps out there. What's going on, Seth, my man? First one tonight. You was the first dude. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Hope things are going well in the Michigan world for you. What's up, Keith? Keith, Moonboy, you running tonight, or you not? You already finished your run early. Good to see you. I'll give you a Moonboy count. We'll give you a Moonboy look at the market as always. Delta Pope. Good Sunday, Mr. Jim. Yeah, good Sunday to you, Mr. Delta P. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in, man. Always appreciate your presence. Daniel L. Hey, buddy. Man, I see your name every week after week. Just so faithful to watch week after week. I'm glad to have you here. Hey, Eddie Bo, same as you. And Lee Berger. Just the OG group here tonight, guys. Always appreciate you guys in your comments and coming in to say hi. So, yeah, when's the bear going to chase the honeypot? I don't know, guys. I don't know. The market takes a lot longer to develop than we want it to. We miss those days of old when it seemed like it dumped like regularly, right? In those corrective periods, for sure. There's lots of dumping. But, yeah, we don't mind pumps as well. But right now is not the time to think about pumping, in my opinion. I want to look at the bear side of things. I am a bear, guys, right now, and I tend to be a bear when it's time to be a bear, and I get bullish when it's time to get bullish. Now, I will look at the chart with you and tell you when I think it'll be time to get bullish. I did that with you last week. I'll do it again this week. Tell you what we expect to see if we're bearish, and if it goes bullish, what it may look like if it starts bullish, and how to know on the early side of things, hopefully. If the market's bullish. So with that said, shall we jump into the analysis and get it going? Let's do it. All right, let me take a little drink of some coffee, get myself pumped up here, and kind of mellow tonight, kind of just mellow. Tonight's a little rainy here. I'm a little chilly. I'm going to turn on we're in the lower level of my house in a lower level walkout basement. Really nice finished place we're living in. It's a good deal, but it gets a little chilly in the basement while it's a little warmer upstairs. So I'm going to turn on this little space heater and see if I get it pumping right on me. What's up, Ricky Spanish? Hope you're doing good. All right, let's jump in. 4-hour chart. Actually, we need to start a higher time frame. Let me just run through the where'd your message go? I don't know, Kimo Sabi. I didn't see one come in, buddy. Didn't see one come in. Just saw you pop in for the first time right there. So the title of the video tonight is "I'm Bearish and Here's Why." So I'm going to give you that information. I'm not going to make you wait long for that. But I will start. I will start with the macro count. Okay, so I'm going to look we're going to start with the weekly chart, and we'll work our way down. Okay, so the question of the day here, the question of the century is, what is this current wave structure that we're looking at? What is it? How do you interpret the waves. Is there anything to interpretation? Well, there certainly is something to it. Now, whether my interpretation is correct, that's the other thing. So we're going to give you an interpretation of this wave structure here from several different perspectives. Okay, but we're going to talk about what we normally see from waves like this on the small time frame, and you can apply that to the large time frame. The first thing I see when I see this is I see 1, I see 2, I see 3 pushes. Okay, and they're increasingly large. Okay, so we have a smaller one, a middle one, and a Papa Bear there. So baby bear, mama bear, and then Papa Bear right there. Right, so there's 3 different size pushes right there, and they're expanding. Okay, so that's an expanding wave. So as we're going up, the pushes to the upside get increasingly larger. Okay, and they're very proportional. They're very proportional to each other. The increase seems to be pretty decent as far as and I'm curious just to the eye with just looking at it. They look very proportional. Let's just test the extension of the first one to the second one. Okay, we'll put the extension on here just right like that. So the second wave here, okay, we're going to call that wave 3 really, compared to wave 1, came to more than the 2618 extension of the first wave. Now, what I'm interested to see is what's the relationship between the second wave that we have to the last wave there. So we look at that, and what do we see? Well, the relationship's different as far as that is concerned. It's the 1414. We haven't even got to the 1618 extension. So that's an argument that the bulls might say, hey, Jim, we haven't even, the relationship between that that last wave doesn't match. So, hey, there may be some more upside. There may be something to it, but there's nothing in Elliott that says it has to be the same relationship. In fact, the only rule as far as wave size are concerned and proportionality to each other is that wave 3 cannot be the smallest wave. And wave 3 is not the smallest wave here. Wave 1 is the smallest. Okay, which was a pretty big run up from 0, or a very small number, to $20,000. But nonetheless, that's the smallest wave. Now we're in the 5th wave. So the way I count this from a macro perspective is you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and the wave 4 overlaps with the 1, and so that's what we call a diagonal, usually with that interpretation. When 4 overlaps 1, because there is a rule for an impulse wave, and that rule says, hey, listen, wave 4 can't overlap into the territory of 1. If it does, it's not a wave 4, unless it's a diagonal. Now, a diagonal begins something or ends something. So in this scenario, this would be the beginning of something. This is the beginning of Bitcoin. It's the beginning stages. Okay, so this would be a wave 1, a first wave. What would subsequently follow, if that's the first wave and if it's complete, and that's a big if, but if it is, then we would look for a 3-wave retracement, okay, of the entire wave. That's going to take proportionally, it's going to be proportional in size to the first wave. In other words, what I just drew right here would be a proportional wave, 3-wave pullback of this first movement of Bitcoin. Okay, what this does is this allows time for just crypto to retrace and correct and build a base for the long haul of history, where as we zoom out to the monthly chart, if I just look at this on a monthly chart, let me get rid of my volume just for a moment here so you can see. You would see that this would be a wave 1 and this would be a wave 2. And in Elliott world, the next wave is 3, which probably you'd begin with a wave 1 and a wave 2, and then you'd be going up like this. Okay, this is when moon. Okay, this is when crypto will begin mooning. Now, it may not go as fast as I've drawn it, but it may. But the point is that for the longevity of Bitcoin, I'm a believer, as long as Bitcoin is around forever, as long as Bitcoin is actually something that's here to stay. Now, I believe blockchain is here to stay. I do, but and Bitcoin may be here as well to stay. That may be the case. I'm not here to argue for or against that. But I also have in my mind that the idea of digital assets are only possible because Bitcoin has done what it's done. Okay, Bitcoin has provided the the proof positive that digital assets can have real value over the long haul. Okay, so that's the case I would make for the longevity of Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is here to stay. But one could argue that Bitcoin is just the genesis stage of what digital assets are going to look like in the coming future. And as fast as this space is changing, so will, over the next 20 to 30 years or 70 years, if you want to say, the landscape of the digital society is going to evolve and change so that it's probably unrecognizable compared to today's money system. In other words, we are moving out of a gold and silver and fiat system, more than likely. Now, I don't know if gold and silver are going to be gone forever, but we're moving out of, let's just say, paper money system, a fiat money system, to a digital system where value is stored digitally rather than in slips of paper or banknotes. Okay, everything is being streamlined and becoming digital. Okay, that's what we're moving to, and we are living on the earth during the time of that transition. Okay, and I know everybody in the world wants Bitcoin to just go up to the moon right now, and everybody's expecting 200K, 300K, and so forth right now. And guys, according to this chart that I have in front of me right now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin won't go up to 500,000 or 100,000, but the question is, how in the world is Bitcoin's value going to reach that large of a price? Okay, how in the world is a market cap the current market cap gonna justify that? Well, it's going to be a steady growth of the world's market cap into it, but that's going to take a long time. Okay, but we are in a time in which things are accelerating. But what I believe is going to happen, and this three-wave retracement that we likely will see prior to the moonshot of Bitcoin, is time for a cooling off period where everything can consolidate, and finally the big boys who really run the show have time to transition their money out of their hedges. Okay, so what's probably going to take place is a sell-off in every market that you know of. It's going to mean a market crash. It's going to be a major sell-off, and money, it won't be transitioning into the dollar or any other dollar on this planet, whether it be the euro or the yuan or the US dollar or any other currency that you can think of. Money won't be transitioning into those. Rather, it'll be transitioning into gold, silver, and other tangible assets that have real value of historical subsequence or historical value. Anyway, once that transition has taken place, then the money will transition from out of gold and out of silver into the digital landscape. So what's happened, in my opinion, is this first wave of Bitcoin is complete or nearly complete, but it probably is complete in my world. It looks very, very complete. What probably is going to happen is that this sell-off is going to allow price to come back down, and then this wave right here will be a reaccumulation wave, which will take a very long time. Okay, I am speculating that over the next 10 years, we're going to be range bound for Bitcoin. Bitcoin over the next 10 years, more than likely, will be range bound between its current price of 100,000 and at maybe a low of about 15 to 20,000. Okay, that would be a 60 to 80% retrace okay, of Bitcoin's price. And that will allow time for price to come back, for the big boys to maximize their profits, and then reinvest all that profit to multiply it for the next major wave to the upside that's going to ride off into the future, and where historic money is going. That's more than likely the way I see things playing out. That's my take on it. That's what I'm expecting on the macro scale based on this wave structure. So my primary idea on the macro on the monthly is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, and the 5 waves are showing all the signs on multiple time frames of a completed wave. You say, Jim, what are those signs? Well, the first thing is we need to, whatever that wave 1 has, however many waves that has, wave 3 and wave 5 need to have the same number of waves. And this is an impulse wave of 5 waves. Wave 3 is an impulse wave of 5 waves. So I'm looking for an impulse wave of 5 waves in the last wave, which we have currently. Let me take a sip and take a break, see how you guys are doing. Hold on a second as I take a sip of my coffee here. Okay, so you have the same number of waves in the last wave as the previous 2 waves, 5 waves. You say, what else do you need to see? Well, that 5 waves needs to be recognizable with the normal telltale signs of that wave. Well, what are the telltale signs? Well, generally speaking, when you get between wave 3 and wave 5, there's what we call, wave 3, number 1, will be what we call overbought on the RSI, okay? It'll be in the overbought region. What you'll notice right here is the wave 3. This is a subwave 3, okay, of the third wave. You'll notice that wave reached its peak during the third wave, okay, and then retraced, created hidden bullish divergence for wave 4 of the third. Okay, so this is, if we zoom, let me zoom in on the daily and you'll see it a little bit better. Let me go over here. Trying to center the screen. There we go. Actually, I need to be on the 3-day so you can see everything you need to see. There we go. Right there. So first off, just looking at the third wave, you'll see the 5 waves. You can see the 5. You got 1 from the bottom, 2 retrace. Boom. Okay. Then there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. All right. Now, the overbought portion is here in wave 3. That's when you expect everything to get overbought during wave 3. Okay. Then as it pulls back, what you're going to find is that the wave that pulls back is the wave 4, okay, but it creates hidden bullish divergence, which you have here, wave 4, boom, right there. And then you get the 5th wave, which creates what we call bearish divergence, regular bearish divergence, where you have a higher high in price, but a lower high in the RSI. And those are telltale signs that a wave is finding its finish, okay? And so we have those same signs happening, but on the macro scale. Okay, so as we go back out to the weekly month, let's try the 2-week. It'll consolidate things for us a little bit. There we go. So if you look at the same telltale signs, what we look for at the end of a 5-wave move is that it's overbought here. Okay, in the RSI. When did that happen? That happened on wave 3. Okay, whatever, we had a pullback, okay, which created from this peak here to that peak right there. That's hidden bullish divergence. I don't know if I said hidden bear earlier, but I meant hidden bullish divergence. The subsequent peak went up. We made a new high in price, a lower high in the RSI. That you have regular divergence. That's the same pattern. That's what you expect to see at the top of a wave. Okay, so when a wave finishes, and if you count those waves, okay, you'll see clear 5 waves: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now you say, Jim, wait a minute. No. Look at this wave right here. It took out the high. Yes, it did. It did take the high out. But how many waves did it create in taking the high? In other words, as the high was made for wave 5, what I'm saying is a possible wave 5. You got to move down, right? And then a high was made. It took the high out. But look how many waves took it out. 1, 2, 3. That was taken out in 3 waves. Okay? Now, if that is 3 waves, if my interpretation of those waves is correct, then that's a 3 wave that took the high out, and that's indicative of what we call an expanded flat. So my primary analysis of this wave structure then is that we have 3 waves that came back, 3 waves that took the high, okay? So that's an expanded wave, okay? And then we're looking for 5 waves to the downside. We're looking for 5. Okay. So you ought to be able to see this wave coming down, developing as 5 waves to the downside. Number 1, if I'm right in interpreting what I've said correctly. And number 2, if I'm correct in saying that this wave is finished, that this wave right here finished, because there is a chance. So you're saying there's a chance that Bitcoin could go up and take the high again. Yes, there is a chance. So there's a chance that this wave right here is actually a wave 4. And we're about to go take the high one more time for wave 5. You say, what do you mean a wave 4? It would be a wave 4 of the C wave right here. This would be A, that would be B, and this would be a wave C. And the C wave needs to have 5 waves. And so you got 1, 2, you'd say 3, 4, and 5. Now, there's an argument that says, no, Jim, this 5-wave move is already finished. You already have a finished wave. Okay. Yeah, that could be an argument. So finding the exact top is sometimes challenging. Why? Because there's always that possibility of another hit to the high. And could they go tag the high again, pull back and hit the high again, and kind of keep churning this up for a little bit and kind of keep revving this up? Boom, boom. Boom. Yes, they could do that, right? They could extend this wave 5 and just kind of keep doing it and then eventually take it down. So we could see some more hits to the high for liquidity's sake. That's absolutely in the cards as possible, but it wouldn't change the wave structure analysis for me, and I would still be bearish even if I saw this wave come up and price really not making any substantial gains in price if price stayed somewhere between its current all-time high and 120K, okay? As long as price stayed in that range, I wouldn't be worried about some big bullish move to 150 or 200K or whatever. I just don't see that. Now, there's always the possibility that my analysis of this wave structure is incorrect and I'm interpreting something incorrect. So that's why I always tell you my logic and why I believe what I think I believe. But I always hold what I believe in tension, okay? I always, basically, everything I believe, I'm like, okay, that is a real possible count. But I hold that in tension with the reality that what something looks like and what something is may be 2 different stories. Many times when you're looking at something from an Elliott wave perspective and you see one thing, the chart may do another thing. It's designed to give you a look of one thing, but it really is another thing. So we hold on to our Elliott ideas loosely. We don't hold on to them as if they are certain, and we don't trade all of our assets and our resources based on what we believe the wave structure is. Wave structure ideas are fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, those ideas are just ideas that may or may not play out. And you always have to understand what makes the difference between a good trader and someone who loses their money is a good trader is always ready to be wrong and has a plan that, number one, identifies when you're wrong and has a plan to exit a poor trade and has a proper management of risk that allows you to get out with small losses, not major losses. That's what makes you a good trader. Okay. What makes a person a good trader isn't being right all the time. What makes you a good trader is learning how to be wrong and only lose a little bit of money. That's what makes you a good trader. And if you don't know how to trade, and if you don't know how to manage your risk, and if you don't know how to lose well, you need to learn how to lose well. You need to learn risk management, and you need to learn the proper psychology of trading. I spend a lot of time teaching and preaching psychology of trading. If you want to be in an environment where we prioritize those things, come on into the Gym of All Trades Discord. Okay? Find the link to the description below. Taking another sip, warming my tongue. Then going to cool it down with something wet here. Hold on one second. Okay. We're losers here. All right, what Chemo's saying? He's been talking to me. I want to hear what he's saying. Also, you can note that Wave 4 came back to the Wave 4 of the lesser degree. Absolutely. Wave 4 often does. J Dub says, what does winning feel like? Oh, man. Yeah. J Dubs, I'm going to give you the key to winning. Are you ready? Guys, I'm going to give you guys some free advice. Do you guys want some free advice? If I can I've got 13 likes right now. If I can get 23 likes in the next 1 minute, on your mark, get set, go. In the next 1 minute, 23 likes. That's 10 extra likes. I will give you some free advice that will tell you how to win. The secret to winning. I have 14. Come on, 23. Hit the like button, guys. Come on. I'm seeing who's interested. We got 18. Okay, here we go. This is a secret. It's worth listening to. It's going to be a Jim Pierce rant that's going to be worth its weight in likes. Boom! We did it in like 20 seconds. Guys, y'all are amazing. No, I'm sorry. No, I looked at the wrong thing. There's 19 likes. I need 4 more. 4 more. 1 more. 3 more. Come on, 3 more. 3 more. Here, I'll show you the screen. There it is. We got 20 likes. There's 22. 1 more. Who's going to do it? There it is. Okay, we got 23. All right, I think we made it in a minute. Awesome. All right, here it is. Here is the secret to trading and winning a lot. Are you ready? I mean, this is worth its weight in gold, okay? This market, if you look how this market moves, okay, it moves in very, very overlapping price waves, okay? That is designed to mess with your psychology. And the longer you stay in your trades, the more susceptible you are to those volatile waves that go up and go down. Large percentages, large swings. And they're designed to do that. Okay? The secret to the crypto market, if you're trading leverage, is to get in and to get out regularly, being content with small but regular gains. Learn how to take small gains and get out. Small gains, get out. Learn the secret of contentment. You see, your greed has you wishing to be rich. Your impatience has you wishing to be rich today. Your hope has you wishing for a big move of the market that you probably won't be in because the market will shake you out of your position first. So you're going to spend your time chasing Bitcoin's big large, fast moves that only happen every so often for very small periods of time. Okay? If you just give in to the notion that Bitcoin and crypto moves in a very, very choppy fashion most of the time, like 95% of the time, okay? 95% of the time, Bitcoin, crypto, any asset is ranging. It is up and down. So you have to learn to trade in the range and love the range and stop chasing big gains in one trade. I gave this analogy last week or the week before. I can't remember, but I want you to imagine taking a boat out into an ocean that you can see the bottom of, and it's full of sharks swimming around this giant pot of gold, this giant treasure chest of gold worth millions and millions and millions of billions and billions of dollars at the bottom of the ocean, and you can see it. You're in a boat, you're safe from the sharks, and you can see the treasure. And you want to find a way to get down there. But you have no shark protection. You have no way of getting the sharks out of there. If you're going to get any of that treasure, you have to swim with the sharks. So what you do is you wait until the sharks aren't looking. You wait until there's an opening that you see it. You're like, I can make it to the bottom, and I can get back to the top, and I think I have about 20 seconds to do it. Okay, I got time. And you jump out, and you go to the bottom, and you're on a time clock. The sharks are swimming around. They see you. They're on their way. You're in their environment now. Once you jump in, you're in their environment. If you try to take the whole treasure chest in one swoop, number one, you ain't going to have time to do it. Number two, the sharks won't let you do it. They're not going to let you. So if you're too greedy, you won't get any money. In fact, you'll lose your life. You'll lose your trading account doing it, and the analogy. So what you do is you go down, you grab a quick handful. Sometimes you got time for 2 handfuls. On occasion, you can stuff your pants real fast and get a couple handfuls. But if you get too greedy, watch out, okay? Because you'll end up losing some on the way back up, or you'll be too slow and you'll get eaten by the sharks. In other words, greed won't allow you. So you just take a handful and you go back up to safety. You wait for another moment. You look for another moment to enter. Grab a handful and you swim to safety. And you just do it over and over and over again until you get real good. Real good. And before you know it, your boat is filling up with that gold. But it ain't filling up in one trip to the bottom. And it ain't filling up immediately. It's just a steady growth. You're going to, and you get better and better. The more you do that, you get better and better and better at grabbing the handfuls and doing it faster and safer. That's it. That is the key to success. Trading leverage, high leverage in this crypto market. Now, the other key to success is to trade very, very low leverage. In other words, decrease the amount of money or the percentage of your trading account that you're putting on the line. Decrease the risk. If you do that, you'll win more and more as well. And you'll win consistently. And you will make so much more money that way than sitting and waiting for Bitcoin to make this big move. Now you say, Jim, I don't have time to do that. Okay. Then you don't trade leverage at all. If you don't have time, you either trade very low leverage, if you don't have time to watch your trades and you want to stay in them longer, okay? Or you trade spot, no leverage. You just trade what you have. And there are easy strategies that you can use, very simple strategies that you can use for trading spot trades to know when to get in and know when to get out, okay? And it's very simple. It's very simple strategies that you can use. That's the key to trading. If you want to learn some basic strategies to use, you may want to wait for my Discord, because I'm in the middle of moving right now. But once I have some time, I'm hoping to. I've got a goal of getting a couple of videos recorded this week. I'm going to be making my opus in trading. I haven't had a chance to start yet. I've been pretty busy with work, and I'm getting ready to move back to Missouri, the land of misery. And but I'm going to be just streamlining my trading course, making an updated trading course that just streamlines everything I know about trading and everything I know about risk management, everything I know about Elliott wave theory, okay, in the shortest time possible, just consolidating all that, 7 years of the knowledge that I've gained of all of those disciplines: risk management, psychology, Elliott wave theory, and then the strategies I have developed for myself to use. What have I come away with at the end of the day? How do I trade and win and win and win? And when I lose, why do I lose? And what produces the loss? That trading series is coming, and it's just going to be I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to make it and leave it for my people in the Discord. And eventually, probably sometime at the end of this year, this is probably going to be my last year doing Discord, and I'm probably going to keep on going till the end of the year, and then I'm going to open my Discord up, and just going to be a trader and enjoy the community of people that want to come join. But if you want that trading course, you'll need to be a part of the Discord to have that. So you can wait for that if you want. But that'll be coming in the coming month or so. Anyway, I want to encourage you guys to come get that. But getting kind of tired and worn out and in life, and YouTube will do that to you. So good luck, Chemo. Chemo's going to take up the mantle, and he's got his YouTube channel going. So he'll keep you going, and he'll add GAN. He's adding GAN to the world. He's good at consolidating other people's knowledge and then bringing knowledge from every walk of life, and he's good at that. So he can take the torch up and keep it rocking. But anyway, I want to encourage you guys just to keep at it, guys. Keep trying. If you've invested a lot of time and years and you're still struggling to be profitable, that's what everybody's journey is, guys. That's everybody's journey. We're all trying to be profitable. We're trying to figure this game out. But what I've come down to is that the reason you don't make a lot of money and the reason you lose is the primary reason you lose is you're greedy. You're just full of greed. And the scripture says, godliness with contentment is great gain. When you learn how to take your profits and be content with small profits on a regular basis, you will make money. That's how I make money. And that's how I'm going to feed my family for the rest of my life. I've been working very, very hard to develop my strategy and to become a profitable trader. And I'm finally where I want to be as a trader. And it's been very hard to get here. But with that said, I hope you've been part of the channel for years. That's been an awesome journey to be with you. But I'm going to pass everything I know to you, and you do your best with it. But there you go. There's my 2 cents, and I got 29 likes in the process. Thanks, guys. All right. So why I've given the macro analysis of what I believe is happening on the Bitcoin chart to consolidate the thoughts here. Is this the top? Could be. Okay. It could be the top of a wave C of a B wave, which would precipitate a move down now. Okay. Which we'd be looking for a C wave. And that would come down fast and furious and probably reach the 60K to even as low as 50K range. It would be very fast, more than likely. Okay. If that analysis is correct, I would be looking for this zone right here. All right. And that would be the first wave to the downside. That would be wave 1 or wave A, 3 waves right there. we would look for some kind of a very small pullback, more than likely, for a B wave or an X wave. Okay? And then we'd be looking for 3 more waves. That right there, okay, could be all we get. That might be the retrace. But to me, that's not enough time in the market. That's not enough time. This correction that I'm calling for needs to be relative in time with the time it's taken Bitcoin to make these massive gains. So on the my macro analysis, we need probably a 618 retrace in price and time. So if I do some time analysis here, let's just do fib time. Where is my fib time? There it is. Is that the one I want? Trend-based fib time. There it is. Boom. Okay, so we're going to take wave the time from there it is. Okay. So 50% of the time that this wave took, 50% brings us out to 2030. Okay? 61% brings us to 2031. So that's the kind of correction I'm looking for. A wave that comes down in 3 waves that takes approximately that long. But it could take longer. It could take all the way to the 1-to-1, which means we would be 2035 before it's finished. And so the wave structure, you can see that, on the monthly, it would look clean and crisp like this, but on the daily or the, it would be much more choppy, right? Something like that. Lots of chop. And that kind of correction would take 10 years. So it could take only 60%, 50 or 60%. It could be short and fast, getting us ready for the next move. Okay? Or it could be a lot slower. All right, looking at, if you want to just kind of understand this, look at the relationship between the time of, here, let me do this. Let me replay the chart just a little bit here. Let's go down to the daily. Let me just show you the time. This is wave 1 and this is wave 2. And just look at the time. So let's just start fib time right here. Trend-based fib time here. Start it right here. Boom. To the top here. Boom. And what you'll notice here, we want to start it at the same time here. There we go. So this wave 1, okay, wave 2, I should say, was not. Let's see, am I at the right location? Approximately 38%. That's how much. That's how long it took. Where's my play button? There it is. Now let's measure. Come on, go a little faster here. Let's measure the wave 1, 2 of the next wave. So here's wave 1 right there, and wave 2 right here. Put this right there in the same location. What was the time? Wave 2 was a 127 extension of wave 1. So wave 1, 2. Wave 2 took more time to develop, all right, in this particular wave. So we don't have any exact thing, an exact number that we're looking for. All right. So it could be short and fast like this one, or it could be long, complex, and extended like this one was. Okay. But the point is, we need a retrace on the macro. All right. I want to stop. I want to get out. Oh, there we go. Let's get out. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's look at the small time frame. Let me tell you why I'm bearish on the small time frame now. If you look in the small time frame, now we've gone from macro analysis down to micro analysis. So on the macro, I'm bearish, okay? On the micro, I'm also bearish because I see this wave structure here. What wave structure am I looking at? Well, I'm looking at this. 3 waves to the upside. And then this wave turned into 3 waves to the downside, not 5. Because it didn't finish. Didn't finish 5 waves. So I'm looking at this wave as a flat. That this wave right here is acting very much like an expanded flat. A, B, C. Right there. Very much like an expanded flat. But it's a running flat, not expanded flat, but a running flat, excuse me. Now, if price gets up above this last high right here that I have marked with the A, then it'll be expanded flat. But it looks like a running flat, and I talked about that Friday morning during my live stream. I said, yeah, as this was coming up, I was like, yeah, more than likely we're going to come up and make a running flat. It's not going to take that top out. And there's a good chance that this is if this is a flat, this is setting up for a big move to the downside. Okay, so we got a 1, 2, 1, 2, and they're pretty proportional to each other. That's one way to look at that. That's one way to interpret those waves. That's a 1, 2, 1, 2, which is going to set up for major downside here. That's going to be relatively fast and furious. I'm not saying it's going to all happen tomorrow or whatever, but I think we're in for some bearishness potentially coming to a market near you. If that's an expanded flat, if that is an expanded flat, the next wave this week is down. Primarily down. That doesn't mean you can't have rebound waves and up waves, and that doesn't mean this can't go up a little bit more. It can. It just means that the primary direction will be down if that's an expanded flat. Now, if it's not, then what would you expect? What would it look like? Well, generally, this is impulsive. You would expect a 3-wave pullback, probably going to be shallow, something shallow, back down to this range here. Okay, and then more upside. Okay, and that, if it does that, then more than likely this is not expanded or a flat at all. That this is something else. Could be part of a wave 5 going to take the high again, and that this was some kind of a wave 4, and we get a wave 5 coming to revisit the top before downside, and then down. So that's the other possibility on the small time frame. So the wave structure ideas become really simple right now. I love it when we can boil down our ideas to about 2 ideas. Okay, and what wave structure and how those ideas overlap each other, and what wave structure to look for. Okay, number 1, just being real simple here. Okay, number 1, if that's a running flat, okay, if this is a running flat, Boom, there it is. Finished wave. It's done. It's complete. It's finished. You got 5 waves in C. Okay, it's running flat, looking for this to develop to the downside. Pull back. It should retest this high without breaking it if it's finished, and then down you go. And we'd get bearish. We'd look for this to work its way down. It doesn't mean it can't come back up here and then work its way and then take forever and days to go down. It just means that the general direction is going to be down, if not sideways this week and then down next week. Who knows? Okay. If you watch Chemo's video about an anomaly he found in the market, today is a critical day, for a potential bottom. Go watch his video on his channel, but not now. Wait for the Sunday night charts to be over, but go check out his channel and watch his video on the anomaly he found. Pretty interesting video and pretty interesting concept he found on it. It's kind of neat and fun to think about. But today's kind of a big day. Today, tomorrow, is in a deviation of days. It didn't have to be right on the day, but today was the day. Okay, 6th through the 14th. There you go. So we might have a dumpy week. Based on his time analysis, based on my Elliott analysis, they're kind of confluent here. We could have a dumpy week. We might get one of those, real dumpy things. The fact that there's a big political show happening in the U.S. as well is pretty interesting. I can see that. You notice that all came out on Friday, right? NFP and Friday and whatnot. It's all timed. But nonetheless, what's the market gonna do tomorrow? Probably gonna sell off. Probably the S&P, NASDAQ. Probably gonna feel times are uncertain, and they're talking about kill the big beautiful spending bill and expose the Epstein files, and you got the Democrats screaming kill the bill and show the Epstein. So there's uncertainty now, and it's going to be the excuse for the markets to tank, right? So be careful for a big show this week, a big major bear show, in which the markets actually crumble rather than pump. But maybe not. Could be wrong on that, but that's what I'm thinking. So if that's an expanded flat or a running flat, then this is going to develop to the downside with pretty quick. Okay. If it's not a running flat, then we're just looking for a small pullback, 3 waves. Just looking for 3 waves, a pullback. Probably I want to find support right in here, right around 103, and let's see it go up from there. Yeah, exactly, Chemo. They're a distraction for sure. So yeah, either this is going to come down and tank and keep rocking, or it's going to 3-wave pullback and make its way up. Go hit the highs again. And that's it. That's kind of, I think that's simple. And I guess the third concept here that you could get a pullback here, 3 waves that takes all week, and then you get another hit to the high here, retest the high before it comes down. In other words, you get a 3-wave pullback before down. That's another possibility. I don't know which one's going to happen. I'm not here to predict the future. I'm here to analyze the wave structure and tell you how it could play out. So that's the way I'm seeing Bitcoin, guys. And there's my hour of analysis on Bitcoin. Now, what I want to do is some correlation analysis. Let's look at the S&P, NASDAQ. We'll look at Tesla. We'll look at XRP, Ethereum, and any of the charts that you guys want me to take a peek at. I'd love to look at your charts and just give you a sense for where I think it's going. Let me catch up with the chat, make sure Mr. Fairhill, hey guys, Mr. Fairhill knows it's an easy market. He knows it's going to 127 to 135. So there you go. Is an alt season coming? Yeah, I don't know. The alts are dead, Eddie says. Yeah, man, case for that the alts are dead. I think the alts that are going to make, I personally think that there needs to be a crypto winter to cull this market so a lot of these alts can die. That's why I think the bear market's coming, and these alts that have been failing projects, they're going to just implode. Money's going to consolidate into the projects that rise to the top out of that implosion, that have real use case, the ones that are actually being used, ones that have real use. So it's going to be a utility run. So if you're looking for an alt season, you should not be in meme coins, and you should not be in failing projects. You should be in real things that have real use case. Okay, Solana, Ethereum. Okay, just to name a couple. XRP is probably a decent bet, but not before a crash, in my opinion. Okay, let's start with XRP and look at Ethereum, and then we'll look at the rest of the market. I'm personally trading XRP, and I'm short, so I have a stake in looking at XRP. I'll tell you something else I've done. This isn't financial advice, but it's something I've done personally, and that I think part of the implosion of the crypto world is going to be a black swan that nobody knows when it's going to happen, but it's probably going to revolve around stable coins. And my guess is that the problems that we've known about with Tether is the number one stable coin, okay, in the market right now, but the underlying fundamentals of Tether is scary as crap, from what I understand. And because of that, I'll bet, my guess is that a bunch of people are going to be looking, are going to be losing their shirt from some kind of implosion of Tether. Now, I don't know what the implications of that are and what that would look like in the crypto space. In fact, depending on how it implodes, it may become valueless. All of a sudden something happens, it becomes valueless, and all of a sudden you can't do anything with your Tether. That scares me. So I'm out of Tether completely. I do not use USDT anymore. USDC seems to be a better bet. Now, I don't know if my rationale is great, but I look at Coinbase and I say, yeah, there's probably problems with that company too, but it's the number one crypto company in the United States, as far as I know, in general. And number two, they seem to be connected in the government. And there seems to be indications that, Coinbase is working with our government for future things. And so I think they have a stake in the viability of, an asset. So USDC seems like a better. But my guess as to what that black swan may look like is that there's some implosion in the stablecoin world. And it's going to precipitate and fast track stablecoin legislation that gives rise to the digital dollar. It's what is going to scare everybody into wanting our government to do something about it, and they're going to say, "Oh yeah, we got this fix. The fix is we're going to we're going to create a U.S. Well, they've already created it, but we got this U.S. digital dollar. And this is guaranteed stable money here, and you know." So I don't know how that's going to play out, but whatever implosion takes place, I think it's going to precipitate the government coming in and providing their government-backed U.S. digital dollar. Oh yeah, we'll fix it. We'll fix it. Just transfer all your crypto to this digital version of the dollar, and you'll be safe, and you can trade with that. And so that's probably where we're heading. Tether scares me, but that's my guess if I were to guess. But maybe because I can guess that, maybe it won't be that. The bond market's going to crack here soon. That's coming. So we know that there's problems in the bond market. We know that that's going to give rise to a destabilized dollar. It's already destable, but you know the house of cards is falling, guys. In our the house of cards is going to fall in our lifetime very, very soon. It's coming down. When it how's the big question mark, but it's coming down. There's a black swan event coming. So be careful, guys. Do whatever you got to do to protect yourselves. I don't want you guys getting hurt. But personally, I just trade. I'm in and out, and I just try to, be in and out of the market as quickly as I can. Okay, what's next? XRP. Looking at XRP on the 4-hour chart. Let me go to a different XRP chart because I don't think I'm on the one with all the history here. There we go. Let's look on the weekly. Excuse me, had to sneeze. What you'll notice price history wise here, from a price history stance, the way Tether moves is it pumps and it retraces all the way back down its pump. Once that pump finishes, it retraces its pump. It goes up, it finished, it comes all the way back down. It went up, finished, came all the way back down. Pumped again, came all the way back down. Okay? So we've pumped again. What's this thing going to do? It's coming all the way back down, guys. In my opinion, we're coming all the way back down. Okay? So I think XRP is almost certain to retrace unless it just breaks its pattern. But I think XRP is going up, and I think it's going to go up to $4 or $11, whatever. The trend is turning to the upside, okay? So the trend is rolling to the upside. But its pattern is to come all the way back down, stabilize, and then work its way, pump again. Okay, so we're looking for a pump up and out. All right, but more than likely, this is going to retest. This is a single print, guys. This is an example of a single print, guys. And so more than likely, this is going to retest 60, 70 cents. Okay, more than likely, it's coming down to about 60 cents, 70 cents, in that range. I'd like to see support of XRP there. How long it's going to take to get there, I don't know. But once it retraces here, I think that's when we get to see an alt season during the B wave of the big bear market that I started with on the front end. In other words, here's when I think alt season happens. Okay, guys, you want to know when alt season happens? Here's when I think. While Bitcoin is dumping its first wave, okay, everything's going to dump with it. Everything. And it's going to be major crashes. But during 2 to 3 years that Bitcoin is consolidating and retracing here in that price range, this during these pumpy times, okay, that's when the alt season will happen. During these pumps, the alts may blow up. Money is consolidating in Bitcoin, staying in a range. So where's all that money going to go? It's going to move out of Bitcoin, into the alts correctively. They'll pump systematically. So that's kind of my take on when the alt season hit. It'll be during that correction. So crash is coming first, alt season second. When the crash happens, okay, that's when everything crashes. Everything comes down. But when that's done, you'll see rebound, V-shaped recoveries and rebounds, and there'll be alt seasons then. Okay. So XRP, to me, has to come down. Now, can it go up higher before it comes down? Yeah, it can. Does it have to? No, it doesn't have to. Let's look on the smaller time frame for XRP. I'm on the 12-hour chart right now. How do I read this wave? To me, this looks like a big 3, 3, 5. W, X, Y. Now, that's one way to look at it. What's another way to look at it? Yeah, I mean, that's the best way. Yeah, I see that, Keith. Definitely. So take a peek at Ethereum. This is challenging wave structure, but you see this shape right here? This is a common shape I've seen in the corrections of that shape right there. You see it right here? You see it right? Well, that's not a good example. But that wave there, and if you look on the small time frame, the wave that we just got on the 1 hour chart, it's the same shape. See that shape right there? And what follows it is a move all the way back down, takes it out. Hey, let's talk in English, guys. I'm feeling a little left out in your comments. I mean, I speak French, so I can read most of what you guys are saying. But yeah, let's speak so everybody can read. What's up, Adrian? Dude, it's a little late for you there, and you're up at what, 2 o'clock in the morning, buddy? Unless I got your time zone wrong. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. All right, Ethereum's been a challenge. Well, I'm glad you made it, buddy. Looking at Ethereum, I've got this as a 3-wave down right there. That's a 3-wave up. I need 5 waves, and this to me is not 5 waves. It could be, but I'm not convinced. In fact, what I believe this wave is just a really, really steep and ugly wave 4. And so the wave count should be something like this: 1, 2, 3. That's 4 of Ethereum, looking for 5 now. And that 5 could get extended. Okay? And that would be lovely for price to get down to about $400 in Ethereum. Why? Because we would finish a nice W, X, and a Y wave. We'd finish a nice WXY. 3-wave correction of the entire price history of Ethereum. Okay? But Ethereum will be one of those that pumps faster against Bitcoin than anything else. Why? Why do I say that? Because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC correction. Okay. And Ethereum will finish its large correction before Bitcoin does. And it will pump. It will start gaining ground as Bitcoin corrects. That's hilarious, Chemo. 666 would be just fine. You're right. You're right. It would be. One of the things that's an inside joke, guys. One of the things we noticed is that the number 6 in a lot of these prices, where price comes to, is very prevalent, especially if it has 3 6s in the number. We're swimming in scary waters for sure. But yeah, that's the way I'm seeing Ethereum. That's my count. I'm really bullish on Ethereum, but not yet. I think this needs to come down first. Hit 666, 400, whatever. Consolidate and then go. That's what I'm kind of seeing. But that, for me, I'd like to buy and hold some Ethereum because I think Ethereum is going to be part and parcel to the new economic system for sure. I'm a believer in Ethereum. So that to me would be a good investment. And that's when I want to hold. Now, I'm not certain of that count, but it certainly looks good to me. But that's my analysis of Ethereum. And that correlates, this dump of 5 waves correlates with what I'm expecting BTC to do. Okay, if BTC is going to come down in 5 waves, okay, boom, down here to 50, 60K for that first wave. When Bitcoin rebounds here, we're going to see Ethereum making its wave 1 right here to the upside. When Bitcoin corrects in this B wave, chances are Ethereum's going to be making a wave 2. And when Bitcoin makes its C wave, boom, there, Ethereum takes off into a big time pumpy wave. And it starts gaining ground. So when Bitcoin dumps for its 3rd wave, you're going to see Ethereum maybe making another one, another wave 2. So it'll be a wave 1, 2, 1, 2, and then moon. When Bitcoin starts mooning, Ethereum really moons. It would be fun. Let's just for fun look at the ETH BTC chart. Two-week chart. I was a super bear here, but look at that. Do you see? You see this corrective wave? That's corrective. Okay. What's going to happen? You see this spike? This spike, price of Ethereum, gained tons of ground against BTC. Okay. In other words, the price of Ethereum became more accelerated than BTC there. So this chart is setting up. Once this wave finishes, I think this low is going to get taken out. Okay. Once this wave finishes, you're going to see ETH start picking up steam. It's going to start going. This was just the first wave. Second wave, we start. And Ethereum is just going to start mooning against BTC. So I love Ethereum. I'm a believer. I think that's what the charts are showing me. Let me just take a peek at small time frame XRP here. J Dubs, I'm looking for 400 Ethereum, $400 Ethereum, and then once that low is hit, it won't see that price forever. I think that's your buy opportunity to hold forever, or until to pass down to your kids. Not everything epsilon, but everything. Yes, but that's when the alt season's going to happen. Again, that's when I think the alt season happens. So I think there's the crash that I see on the chart to 50, 60K is going to finish off some of the alts like Ethereum. But so this first move is going to finish the alts and their lows. And while Bitcoin is consolidating in a B wave or an X wave in here, that choppy mess, okay, which could take 3 to 5 years, right? All the alts are popping. Ethereum's popping on that move. Then when Bitcoin comes down for its third wave, okay, the alts are just pulling back. And then when Bitcoin starts popping, everything else that's still left after whatever alts have died during that process, everything will pump after that. But you got to remember, guys, what's going to precipitate the big move in price? The death of currency. In other words, the value of Bitcoin's not going up. It's the value of our currency is going to go down against it. Okay, got a trade opportunity here, guys. This looks very much like a wave 4 of sorts. This is some kind of one wave. If you get a 3-wave pullback, you got a long opportunity, short-lived, but a long opportunity nonetheless. I don't know how long that, but that's an XRP trade there. Could go take the high, or could just be a 3-wave move that revisits this area and comes on down again. And that trade gets invalidated. Again, you got to be ready to be wrong, right? That trade gets invalidated the moment this low gets broken. This low gets broken. This is not a wave 1 to the upside. It's part of maybe a flat. Now, I'm personally short, so I believe the short. So what I do is I hedge my position at times like this. When I see volume spikes at lows and then wave structure that looks finished, I'll hedge a position for that correction. But this isn't a large volume spike. It's a volume spike along this lines right here. See that volume spike there? It produced that kind of correction. So what kind of correction is this volume spike going to produce? Maybe something similar. It'll look different, but maybe something similar, and it'll continue down. But we aren't in support here, so there's no support in price. This is in no man's land here. This is a good place for wave 1 to finish. If it's a wave 1, I got a nice 5-wave count off the top. As I look at it, I got a 1, 2. This could be the end of wave 3. So we might be heading into a wave 4, back up to here, and then I'll get a wave 5. And that's tonight's price action. Ready to retrace in the morning tomorrow before more down. That looks pretty decent right there. That's probably the wave structure we're looking at right there. Let's look on the higher time frame here. Analysis. 15-minute, we're not oversold yet. Usually wave 3 likes to get oversold. Let's see. And you can argue that we don't have divergence, much divergence. Yeah, we do. We got it right there. Okay, that'd be fine. 5-minute. I got divergence there. Should be getting hidden bull. Yeah, this is probably a wave 4, I would guess, of the small degree. So the way I'd count this, if you're practicing counting, I don't spend a lot of time teaching Elliott wave on my channel much anymore. I used to, but I'd probably count wave 1, 2. I'd probably count this as wave 3. We're getting wave 4, or it's close to wave 4, and then 5. Let's count the subwaves of wave 3. I always like to count the subwaves of wave 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That looks pretty decent. Now, if this low gets broken and it kind of keeps going, then this is not the right count. There are other counts as it develops, but that's a possibility. Just depends on how fast and furious they're going to pull it back and when they're going to dump it, if they're going to dump it this week. Okay, so I've done Ethereum, I've done XRP. So in both of those assets, I'm expecting a sharp move down, a sharp move. Okay, in both of those assets, I'm also expecting a sharp move in Bitcoin. So personally, the way I look at the chart, I'm looking for a sharp move down. All right, let's look at ADA. Haven't looked at ADA in a minute. And then I'll look at some of the, look at like Solana and Link. Just kind of take a peek. All right, ADA, let's look in the 3-day chart, just kind of see what it's doing. So ADA doesn't have the same look that Ethereum has. In fact, ADA looks more bullish, or as bullish as Ethereum, but this wave doesn't look complete yet. Let's go to the daily and just look at this. My first idea, just looking at ADA here, is that this wave right here is a 1, 2, 1, and we're in the middle of a 2 that's going to come down a little further, maybe getting ready for another move to the upside. Once this wave finishes and Bitcoin starts rebounding during that alt season, that's when ADA will pump. It'll pull back and then continue up. That's probably the way I'm seeing ADA right now. Okay. We are in a buy zone for that particular chart, if that's correct. If it's correct, I don't know that it's correct, but if it is. But that doesn't mean this is the lowest price and the best buy you'll have at 66 cents. Okay? Because looking at this wave structure here, what jumps out at me is this 3-wave move right there. Boom. That's 3 waves. Okay? So you have, let me get on the daily so you can see it. So you have this 3-wave move here. Then you have 3 waves back up. So you have a W wave, you have an X wave. Now we need Y. And Y doesn't look finished. In fact, that looks like an impulse or a 3-wave. It's hard to tell. Okay. Oh, actually, it looks like 3. Oh, my. Look at that. It's the same structure on every chart that makes it look. If that's a flat right there, oh, is that not tricky? Three, and then 3. This could roll over and come down. Now, that may not be the right way to interpret it, but it would certainly round out that chart, wouldn't it? And finish a nice WXY. WXY. Pull the fibs. 38 cents. I think 38 cents is super likely. It's confluent with this trend line here. So Bitcoin crashes, goes down deep. You find, and then you have your alt season that follows. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that this is 3 waves. This is getting ready to come down way here. It's going to come up here while Bitcoin rebounds after its correction. Okay. And then this is coming down. So it's going to have an alt season time, retested, and then it's going to come down super fast. Back down here. And that's 3 waves. And then moon. That's hard. So we would have to have an alt season while Bitcoin consolidates in order to get that wave. But it could come. It could come. Just checking in on our trade here. Okay, that's ADA for you. My guess here on the 4-hour. Yes, price could come up here. Yes, it could. It absolutely could. But I'm wondering. I wonder as I wander. If this is 3. Or if this is 3, that's 3. And now we're getting boom, boom, boom to finish. This comes down here and finishes. This is hard wave structure. Just what's clear to me is that this needs to get down here. Back down to 40 cents. And once we see it get down here, I don't know what's going to happen in the meantime, but 40 cents would be a buy zone, or depending on what the chart looked like, I would really be considering buying at that level. and holding for a while if I thought ADA was here to stay. Okay, let's look at the S&P. Ooh, 6,900. Tell me about this chart. What is this chart? The as the SPX. What is SPX 6,900 against Tether? What is this? Salvador. When you see the RSI break that trend right there, that's a sign of weakness. Right now, we got strength in this particular chart for now. When price breaks this trend right there, that's a sign of weakness. Right now, we have strength against that. So I look at this chart and say there's strength here, but there's potential weakness incoming, but it doesn't look imminent yet. I don't see any finishing wave structure here. So I would my take on this chart is bull for now. Very minimal wave structure to look at, but that's what I've got. Salvador. I hope that helps you, buddy. Again, a break of that. If price breaks that, I'm no longer bullish. I'm looking. If the RSI breaks that, wait for the confirmation of the break in structure. Okay, wait for that confirmation. It's not ready yet. It's not ready to short it. Not in my world, at least the way I trade. It's not ready. Okay, let's look at the S&P. The S&P. What do I say about you? I'm seeing some weakness right here. Looks very similar to this weakness right here. Okay. See how at the top, at tops, it likes to do this little three-wave hit to the high and then roll over. I'm seeing that kind of three-wave hit. Watch out that it might not roll over here. This could be a dumpy week, guys. Or a dumpy month. So S&P looks imminent for another break to the downside, in my opinion. This looks to me like a three-wave pullback of this move. Now, this was wave one. This is the second move, looking for continuation down. Ready to sell off again. I think we get a bearish week. If I'm wrong, This is going to take the high and then watch out for a dump after that. Either way, I'm fairly bearish, even though this could pump for another month or two. But I see it real possible coming down. Just like that. This was a pretty big wave to the downside. Pretty big. It needs a baby. It needs a wave with it. Another wave. Before maybe a pump up to finish it, or a capitulation after that. You just sell off. Look at the NASDAQ. Same thing. Same chart. Boom, boom, boom. See how this kind of hit, chopped up, and then rolled over? Watch out for a dump tomorrow morning on open. Filling this gap and heading on down. I'd be watching for a dump. I'm getting kind of bearish on that sucker. Let's encourage ourselves with the gold and silver chart. Yeah, gold needs a correction, needs a little bit of a pullback. I'm okay with a dump right here, just to the bottom of that wave and getting ready for another pump. That's just fine with me. Silver, on the other hand, is breaking out finally. We broke out, so a retest of that breakout is fine, but it's at $36. Lovely. How many of you are own some silver? I own some silver, physical. That's very, very lovely. Let's check our XRP chart here. Yeah, guys, I've been super bullish on gold and silver, but particularly I love silver. I'm a believer in silver. I would love to see this chart just moon. But if that happens, it means the dollar is going down. The dollar is tanking if that happens. The dollar is failing. Oh, really? Trump and Newsom, huh? So, what, Governor Newsom is Trump on his podcast? What is it? Explain. I didn't even hear about the Newsom Trump thing. Tell me about it, guys. I'm in the dark on that a little bit. Epsilon, what I need you to do is to with one fail swoop in one text message, please put the complete chart name of one asset, and I will copy and paste it, please, because it's weird. Yes, what Chemo just typed. Is that correct? Is that what I'm looking at? I am here to chart it for you, my man. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Is it live right now? Is it happening live? Whoa, military in downtown LA. Epsilon, you are not live with us. You are like 2 minutes behind us. Okay, well, I'll look at that in a little bit. Let me do one more chart here for Epsilon. I'm going to see if I can CPI USDT. I'm not seeing CPI USDT. Okay, let's look at the other one. Where is it? Got it. Oh, there ain't nothing there, dude. There ain't no price action. Yeah, it's let's see. It's the same. Yeah, I get real bullish right there. If that breaks to the upside, I'm getting real bullish. That's a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got a 3-wave structure. I don't think that's finished. But it could be. It could be, but I don't think it is. I'm not sure what's going on here. Does this roll over and come down and finish? Do we get bullish here? Yeah, so we start rounding up and getting a break of that structure. That's when I'm a buyer. Right now, I'm not a buyer. So if this starts coming down, boom, that low holds, great. This pumps out, pulls back. This is my buy zone. Okay, that's when I become a buyer. I don't know anything about that asset. I have no concept of it, but that's when I become a buyer. Hope that helps you. Real simple. But you're in a buy zone now. I mean, if you don't care about nailing the bottom, the bottom dollar, but for me, if I got a crash imminent in crypto, if I believe that, then But I don't think this is ready to pump. I don't think this is going to pump up and out of here yet. And I think this might pump back to the line and then back down, or it may just roll over and come down now. We got to see if this low holds. If this low doesn't hold, no good, no go. This was a flat. This is the end of something. We become a buyer at the capitulation candle. If we think it's going to hold, there's no certainty. Well, guys, I've enjoyed Sunday Night Charts with you. Hope you enjoyed it with me. Checking in on a trade concept I just offered you. You got a nice three-way pullback here. Boom. If that low holds, you could take it up for a correction, but I'm not certain it's going to hold. I don't know. I'm not here to say it is or isn't, but that's not going to be a forever hold, like forever like that. It just could be some kind of something like this and then down more. So be careful trading. Need some help trading and learning strategies to trade? I'd love to help you. Come on into the Discord. With that said, I hope you all have a fantastic week, guys. We're going to call it a night. Thanks for joining me. Have a great night, guys.